I have the joy of serving on the Southern Ohio Synod's Congregational Revitalization Team, a team that hosts retreats for congregations looking to revitalize ministry and challenge what church might look like. At our most recent gathering of the collaborative, I was assigned the task of developing an online opening and icebreaker, as well as a closing and sending devotions. As the team of leadership was discussing the desires and parts to be included during the opening and the closing, one of my colleagues said to me, "And we're going to do the takeaways and the leave-behinds, right?" As the one slotted to lead these portions of our time together, I appropriately responded, We're going to do the what and the when now? With what?" "Takeaways and leave-behinds," she said. "You know, it's kind of like highs and lows, but for the conference and our time together." Now, highs and lows are one of my favorite traditions that I learned in youth ministry. At the beginning of Sunday school or youth group, or at the end of a day at vacation Bible school or on a mission trip, it was the simple process of sitting in a group and sharing with each other the best thing and the worst thing that had happened that day or that week, whichever the case may be. Not only, though, was it simple sharing, but it was building community and an awareness of what was happening in one another's lives, and a network of care and concern in between those in attendance. Often, after someone would share, their comment would be met by, "Oh yeah, I was worried about that too," or "Oh yeah, I saw that and it was hilarious." Small comments reminding everyone that we are not alone through the highs and lows of life. My personal rule during highs and lows was that even though we said the words in that order, high and low, we always shared the low first, so that we intentionally ended on the high, ending on the good thing, the strength. So highs and lows I knew, and I thought, okay, so takeaways and leave-behinds are the same kind of thing. And the group responded, well, it's kind of, but it's a little different. Because the idea is, what are we going to do in the wake of our time together? Highs and lows are about the things that have happened in the previous day or week. Takeaways and leave-behinds ask the questions, what are we going to do now? After the time that we have spent together in conversation and in workshops. What are we going to take away? That is to say, take with us, take back home. What are we going to return to our congregations with that will serve as the seeds of excitement, as a new lens for viewing love traditions, as potential new adaptations for the stories of what God is doing in our lives? Likewise, what are we going to leave behind? Maybe we are choosing to leave behind fear of the unknown, fear of experimentation, or fear of failure. Maybe we will leave behind the shackles of the past that keep us from moving forward, or that siren's song of not yet that can cause us to overlook the powerful ministries that are not happening right now. What will we take away, and what will we leave behind? A broader way to ask this is, what will we do now? Though asking for takeaways and leave-behinds, I think, makes it easier to comprehend. It directs the question by asking us to do something. Two things, actually, and both are positive. One question asks us to leave something behind, subjecting it to the rearview mirror of our lives. To borrow words from Psalm 46, to let go and know that God is God. To leave our troubles, our worries, our fears, and our shortcomings at the foot of the cross. Let Jesus handle those so that we can continue following where God is leading us. The other question ask us to take a step forward, to trust, to take ourselves, our time, and our possessions, and with them, take that next step forward, to take our vision of what God is doing back home, to take it into our congregations and take it out into the world around us. I'm explaining all this because today is the last Sunday of the church year, and it is a great time to consider our takeaways and our leave-behinds. And so I would like you to consider the low of your past year. Consider the crazy COVID world, the limitations that we are still living into, the frustration that exists at home and at work and in our lives. And I don't need to spend too much time to remind anyone that this year has been filled with struggles of many kinds. Consider a thing you would like to leave in the past today on this last day of the church year. Something you would like to leave here in year B, so that next week, on the first Sunday of Advent, we can all come together and worship, carrying a little less weight, carrying a little less worry, as we leave our leave-behinds in this church year. Also, consider a takeaway, a way to answer the question, what are we going to return to our congregations with that will serve as seeds of excitement? I am asking you to take a step forward, to remember the highs of the past year and the years before that, and to take another step in supporting the ongoing ministries of Faith Lutheran Church, to take a step that we need after all the time that we have spent together, the conversations, the friendships, the worship, the lives lived together. I'd like you to take a step forward so that Faith Lutheran Church and our ministry together can continue taking steps forward. Those steps will be steps of community with Taco Sunday, feeding children and adults in our community. They will be steps across town with our support of Lutheran Social Services and our annual Veterans Christmas party. They will be steps around the world through our various causes of the month that have reached all the way to Romania and Jamaica. These will continue to be steps in this very building where I sit now, as this building is used to worship, to educate, to vote in our community, to quilt for others, to cook, to meet, to baptize, to marry, to bury, to live and grow together. They will also be steps taken together on Zoom and on YouTube, steps in worship and Bible study as we step out into this online world through our digital ministries. You are invited to consider these two things. One you would like to leave behind in the year coming to an end, leaving it at the foot of the cross. And the other, a statement of how big of a step you would like to take in the year ahead. A statement of intent, intended excitement, intended hope, intended giving, and intended ministry in our community, as we all take the gospel of Jesus Christ out into the world we live, thanks to the financial support and gifts of people like you. Thanks be to God. Amen.